Wildlife.
Hello there, and welcome to the Wild Review. I'm the Wild Reviewer, and if my timing is right, this should air Halloween Day. Or at least near Halloween. Depends if Halloween's on a Tuesday. Oh, no. It was on a Tuesday last year. So then that would... If my timing is right, this should air on October 30th, the day before Halloween, a day called Halloween Eve. Today I will be bringing you a piece from a little series I'd like to call Lost and Found. In the series we're going to talk about... This is hurting my eyes. I keep pointing it in my eyes. I really should. Maybe I should... Oh, cool. Has this been making the camera go in and out? Like, focus? Yeah, I think it has. Well, I'm not gonna refilm it because, like, why would I? That intro was pretty good. I don't want to redo it. Should I just... It's a bunny. That's freaking stupid. It's been about 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes. Me tried. Oh. Yes. This fits it perfectly. Tonight I will be bringing you a topic that is very uncomfortable to talk about, that some wish that it was never created. I don't like that this keeps focusing in and out. I'm just gonna... Today's video is on the Annoying Orange TV show. Hooray! Okay, so maybe this isn't exactly as creepy as I was making it, you know, to fit with the whole Halloween theme, but I don't know, maybe to an average Joe that finds just random pictures and then human eyes and mouths implanted in that image creepy, well then, hey, I probably made it work somehow. That probably didn't make any sense whatsoever. I'm just going off on the top of my head here. So yeah, the Annoying Orange TV show was a thing. This little show aired on Cartoon Network in the year 2012 and lasted until 2014. That's right, kids, it was in the middle of what we call the Cartoon Network Renaissance. Around the time that Adventure Time, Regular Show, Gumball, and Steven Universe were starting to kick off, the Annoying Orange was literally just placed right in the middle. Some actually argue that the Annoying Orange TV show isn't even a cartoon. They argue that it's more of a live-action show, seeing that Toby Turner is the only person in the show that plays a live-action character. And the scenery around it seems to take place in a live-action setting. It's really odd, even some websites even consider it a live-action show, but I don't know, when I was watching it, I considered it full cartoon because that looks like a lot of animation when you look at certain clips. Yeah, it's a different form of animation, and sure, the faces are implanted on the cartoon images of the fruit, but what do you expect? It's the freaking Annoying Orange. To a random person that was just flipping the stations one day, or is a big fan of Cartoon Network and happened to just stumble upon this show and doesn't happen to have any sort of connection to the internet whatsoever, this show might have come off as really random, odd, and strange, and even out of place at times. The other people that are nothing like that actually know where this came from. The Annoying Orange is an original character created by a man named Dane Bogenheimer. However, we call him Daneboe on YouTube. He doesn't put up many things on his YouTube channel nowadays, but back in the early days of YouTube, he did a lot of cool animated After Effects stuff, and he would always put his face on certain objects such as food. He's made videos where his face was on eggs, where his face was on marshmallows, and most popular, and the thing we're going to talk about today, his face on an orange. In October of 2009, Daneboe released a video called The Annoying Orange. The premise of the video was simply just an orange making a bunch of puns and jokes to annoy an apple, both roles played by Daneboe. At the end of the video, the apple would meet its fate and get sliced up by a knife. This video got really popular to the point where it inspired Daneboe to make a sequel where the orange encountered a pumpkin, where the exact same thing happened. He would make a bunch of jokes and annoy the pumpkin, and at the end, the pumpkin would meet its fate and get sliced by the knife. Although this one was a Halloween-themed video, hey! Connection! And the pumpkin would be turned into a jack-o'-lantern. This then happened a few months later. As the orange would meet a tomato, the same thing would happen. He'd be made into ketchup. And then Orange met Santa Claus. Nothing happened to Santa at the end of the video, which is the only difference between these other ones, but then he came back for a fifth one where he met his match. Another orange, and this orange was juiced, and then he met a football. And with all these videos of this orange annoying things getting very popular, Dane got very inspired to create a series called the Annoying Orange web series, obviously, and created its own YouTube channel. And every Friday for the last 9 years, this man has made over 1,000 different Annoying Orange videos. At the beginning, it was just the simple orange meets so-and-so, and it would always end up the same with that character getting sliced or killed or something. It was always a random different food. Then as the time went on, Dane started introducing new recurring characters and later announced as main characters in this web series, and now we have the characters doing a bunch of different things. They parody popular YouTube videos or even just pop culture in general. There's a lot of different mini-series that happen on the channel, and it's even gotten so popular to the point where now they've created their own gaming channels, and there's even some gaming videos on the main channel as well. It's kind of the same treatment that Fred got when he got very popular. I'm sure we all know Fred. He got very popular to the point where he ended up being on television, and then he got his own movies, and then his spin-off show, and then so-and-so. The Annoying Orange is the exact same thing, only he didn't get a movie. Annoying Orange ended up getting toys, he had a Minecraft server made off of him, there were t-shirts, and the one that we're going to be talking about today, a TV show spin-off. Okay, it's not a spin-off, it's just a TV show, but I guess it's a TV show adaptation of the web show. Not many people like to talk about this show. I guess to compare this show with every other show on the network, especially at that time, this was the lowest rated show that anybody could be watching. Again, at this point you have shows like Adventure Time and Regular Show, and Steven Universe was starting to become a thing. You had all these other shows, and then the Annoying Orange was just there. It's like all those other unpopular Cartoon Network shows that are airing at this point, like the Powerpuff Girls. It's just there. And it can't even be argued that this show was really, really bad, because it kind of wasn't. This show was at the height of its peak at this point, so it made sense why it was on TV at this moment. And yet, just because the videos were very popular, that didn't mean everybody loved them. There were people that generally found this character to be very annoying. It's the same thing with Fred. You have people that love Fred, but then there's a big majority of people that hated Fred. The same thing is for the Annoying Orange. People liked him, but at the same time, people hated him. The one thing that both Fred and the Annoying Orange had, though, compared to every other YouTuber, is that they were both aimed for children, and they both got the treatment of being brought into the media world, and unfortunately both of them just didn't work out. But I guess the main reason why the Annoying Orange didn't exactly work was because nobody really asked for it. This can be seen as one of those things where a network realizes something is very popular and so they decide to make money off of it, which is something that is not new, especially with children networks. The first question everybody had, though, was how the hell are you making a television show out of the Annoying Orange web series? The web series included an orange annoying the life out of a food or a random item, and then at the end of the conversation, that said item would get killed in some way. How the hell do you make a children's show out of that? Well, they found a way. So the TV show isn't exactly based off of the web series at all. It's got the same characters. It even has all the same voice actors in the web series. Like, you had Daneboe play all his 4 roles. You had Bob Jens playing Grapefruit. Kevin was playing Grandpa Lemon. Hell, even iJustine came back as Passion Fruit. The web show takes place in a kitchen, but in the TV show, it takes place in a supermarket called Daneboe's. Very clever. The fruits live on this magic fruit stand, and they basically just kind of live their life. Like I said before, Toby Turner is also in this show. He plays a character called Nerval, who's the only live-action character on this show. His character runs the supermarket and is the only person that can talk with the fruit. So we have a bunch of fruits, and we have a guy who can talk to fruits. That's the kind of show we're dealing with. Yeah, Toby Turner's another popular YouTuber at that time that Cartoon Network kind of cashed in on. Even after the Annoying Orange TV series stopped playing on Cartoon Network, Toby Turner played a role as like hosting the commercial break slots between cartoons. You kind of had to be on the network to see it. They obviously don't play those anymore, but they played him for a good amount of time, and then they kind of just booted him off the network as well. So, with all that said about the show, what exactly do the episodes consist of? Well, that's a very interesting one. Because what was really interesting about this show was it was very different every episode. The first episode took place in space, but then another episode took place in the Wild West, and then there was an episode in the supermarket, and then there was a show in medieval times. The episodes in this show focused on the characters having adventures through time. Some episodes would be movie or television parodies, and some episodes would just be exactly what you expect. The characters in a supermarket interacting with other characters. I believe at one point in an interview with Daneboe about this TV show, I don't remember where he said it, but I swore he said it once, that the fruit cart that is used in the show, supposedly the role of that in the show is a time-traveling fruit cart, which allows the characters to be in the Wild West and in space and all these other locations that were in the show. That seems a bit interesting for a show that, is based off of a web series where an orange annoys the living crap out of random food objects. Now, the show ran from 2012 to 2014. It had a good 2 seasons and 60 episodes, which I guess in cartoon standards is not a lot, but for regular TV show standards, that kind of is a lot, even if they are just 11-minute episodes. Obviously, the show is not running nowadays. Pretty obvious, seeing that it ended in 2014. What exactly ended up happening? Like, why did it end up getting canceled? Well, some people would like to think that it's because the show was stupid. There was no need for the show, nobody asked for it, nobody even likes the Annoying Orange. Well, that might be half of it. The other half just might come from the fact that it really wasn't needed anymore. While the show ended in March of 2014, it was publicly announced by Daneboe later that year in December that it was canceled officially by Cartoon Network. Now, this may not come to a shock to you if you didn't like the Annoying Orange TV show. I could easily see some people saying, well, the show wasn't that good, the web show's not good. See, they really shouldn't do these things where they mix the internet and the TV show worlds together, because this is what happens. That might have partially been the reason why. A few months after he publicly announced that the show was canceled, Daneboe came out and claimed that one of the biggest reasons why the show was canceled was due to the shutdown of his studio. Back then, Daneboe actually had his own little studio where he was not only producing the TV show, but was also producing the web show, which was actually really cool. He gave us a little tour of it in one of his YouTube videos, and what was really cool about it was it wasn't the typical office space that you would expect. Like, there weren't any cubicles, there were just office rooms and a huge set and everything. For somebody that wants to go into the television business, that's kinda exciting. The Annoying Orange TV show, along with a bunch of other television shows that focus on things that used to be on the internet, such as Fred and Awesomeness TV, they were all distributed by a company called the Collective Digital Studio. And it was announced that the Collective Digital Studio was closing their film and television division, which ultimately led to the cancellation of The Annoying Orange. So it didn't matter whatsoever that you hated the show, that you loved the show, it didn't matter. It doesn't matter that IMDb gave it the lowest rating out of every Cartoon Network show that has ever reached the network. It didn't matter that people hated the show. This show was canceled merely because the company that was running it closed. Good for them. And now we do a little more investigating because I'm very curious to know why the Collective closed down. What the hell? Okay. I don't understand any of this. So the Collective is officially no longer a thing. That's cool to know. It's also very interesting to note that some people thought that the TV show was canceled because of the lawsuit that went on between Daneboe and a company. What are they called? North Dakota Department of Transportation. Okay, so this is pretty interesting. So this company was suing Dane because their projects were very similar. This transportation company created a commercial with a talking orange that supposedly came before the annoying orange. But Dane had no idea that this was even a thing. He's never even heard of any of this. So that was really interesting. This case has been disclosed. So yeah. All right, let's do some conclusions. So, if you're wondering where everyone is nowadays, the Annoying Orange, like I said in the beginning, they are still making videos on YouTube. And I don't know when they're ever going to stop. If they ever stop, it's not really going to bother me. But, good on them for having the courage to keep on doing these videos and making some entertainment for children. Of course, they don't make me laugh anymore, but, they're making other people laugh because, people are still watching them, so that's really cool. And then as for the TV show, I know I really haven't talked about the TV show as much. I did watch the TV show because I was very interested. I was an Annoying Orange fan. I have some Annoying Orange toys still, like little figures, because when it was popular, I enjoyed it. I found it very funny. The TV show, I guess I expected a little more from it, but it was okay. Compared to other Cartoon Network shows, it's not the best, but you know what? It was something. They gave it a try. They made 2 seasons out of it, and you know what? It did a little better than the Fred Show. Just putting it out there now. So that's all I gotta say about the Annoying Orange TV show. Obviously, a lot of other people don't like it. They would probably disagree with me, but you know what? We all got our own opinions. So that's the little review thing on the Annoying Orange TV show. Now I want to hear what all of you people think. Have you ever seen the Annoying Orange TV show or the web series? Are you a huge fan of the Annoying Orange, and do you think it was a good idea for him to come on television? Do you disagree with anything that I said in this video? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching The Wild Review on The Wild Reviewer, and you just saw me review a thing. Oh, this episode really wasn't Halloween themed. Hey, thanks for checking out the video anyway. Make sure if you like what you see, you give it a like and subscribe if you want. That's pretty cool. Anyway, make sure you come back next week because I will be discussing my final Lost and Found show, part of the Lost and Found mini-series. It's the last show I'm talking about. I said I was doing 10. This is the 10th one, so you might want to come back and check it out. Wild like. Oh, I did not know that. Okay, this is interesting. I did not know that the Jim Henson Company distributed this show. That's really interesting. Out of all projects, I wouldn't expect the Annoying Orange to be distributed by the Muppets Company. That's very odd.